What's up, everybody? About to get ready to get started on our conversation tonight about are you ready to be committed to someone? So, I'm going to have my friend Ricky to join us live shortly. So, just stay tuned as we get ready to get this conversation going. All right, just waiting for my friend Ricky to join in, and we're going to hop back over here on Instagram and get going with this conversation around are you ready to be committed to someone? So Rick will be joining us in just a second. So anybody joining, brother Kendrick, what's up to you? And anybody else joining, just hold tight for us, and we'll get ready to get the conversation going for just a little bit. Yeah, brother Kendrick, we was on Facebook tonight. That's what I was putting in the video from yesterday that I put out to everybody. We were trying to do Facebook tonight, had some technical difficulties over there, so we said we're gonna bring it on back over here to Instagram. We'll download it to Facebook another time. There we go. What's up, bro, Rick?
What's up, brother Gary?
Brother Kendrick's on waiting for us.
Brother Kendrick, what's going on, brother?
He said we're an hour late. I was telling him we were on Facebook, had some technical difficulties over there, so we said we're gonna come back home. What's
I
up,
will say
42
this.
Brooklyn?
I
In
will
the
say
house.
this. We are black. We are black, so we're never on time. Okay. Okay. I saw the time. Okay. Yes, sir. We apologize. Like we was trying something different. And we gonna work through that. But like I said, we on Instagram now, so it's all in the process. Just trying to get everything together. So, but we appreciate you actually being on time, Raj. We appreciate that.
Yeah, so we won't hold y'all too long tonight, but we are gonna get into the conversation of are you ready to be committed to someone on tonight? So, like I said, as always, feel free to join in. If you got comments, put them in the comment. As the Kendricks is already doing, just feel free to jump right in and we'll get things going. So Ricky, let's just start from the top real quick and then we'll flow right back into the conversation. So again, the topic for tonight is are you ready to be committed to someone? So Ricky, from you, what does being committed to someone, what does that mean to you?
Fully dedicated to being basically like being all in as far as having those conversations, far as what we want out of each other. Basically, like being fully committed is taking things to the next level, getting to know each other, but moving forward is the next level. Dating is getting married or getting engaged, then get married. So I believe that, that's what I believe in. Just simple, just being on the same page, having those communication, having those talks, and being, dedicated to the point where both have to be dedicated to the point where you on the same page. You have to be on the same page. That's very important. So I just believe in like, being dedicated, just being all in, knowing that, look, we are on the same page and we working towards something. And the ultimate goal is when you date the ultimate goal is getting married. And that's what I always say. You date to get there. Me personally, I don't date just to say I have a girlfriend. I date knowing the potential I can have a wife. That's, to me, I think that's what dating is. You're getting to know somebody, knowing hopefully that you can take things to the next level. Because if you don't want that, there's no need of dating. Or if you find that person that's on the same level as you, where you just say, okay, I'm cool with just being boyfriend and girlfriend, then that's on them. But I feel like the ultimate goal is when you're dating, getting to know somebody, is taking things to the next level. That's actually, as Beyonce say, put a ring on it.
All right now. So yeah, and that's just it, Rick. And I'm gonna kind of veer off for a minute to what you just said there about putting a ring on it. See, I think sometimes, man, we do a lot of dating and with relationships, we kind of have one foot in, one foot out. So we're not really fully committed to the person at the end of the day.
Agreed.
A lot of times there probably could, and I know everybody won't agree with this, but I'm still gonna say it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes we have gotten so used to the dating process and how it works that we don't make total commitment up front like we should.
Okay.
If a person, let's say a man comes across to a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've been dating 6 months, a year, year and a half, or something like that. And he just says, okay, I understand this woman. I love this woman. Let me just go and put it all on the line. I think there's a lot of fear for us to get to that, sometimes for some men to get to that point. Just go ahead and go all in. I mean, women have experienced a lot of stuff just like us men have. And I think with a lot of them, if they see that you are willing to, like what you just said, go ahead and just put a ring on it, just go on and do it. Because like I say, and man, you talked about this just the other day, Rick, about love. Love is taking a risk. No, dating is taking a risk. All of it is taking a risk at the end of the day. You don't know what you're going to get necessarily. So you got to give it time. You don't rush into the situation. But at the same time, when you know you have a good woman, and women, when they know they have a good man, don't waste time. Jump on it. Because you don't want, if you know you got something good, you ain't got to be waiting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years before you commit. Because a lot of the things that we do backwards a lot. We go, and it is what it is. Life is what it is. There ain't no judgment or nothing like that. But a lot of times we have children first, and then not even looking for commitment from the person that we had children with. We're not even looking for a commitment from them first. So we end up in situations, a lot of women and even some men as well, you end up looking for marriage from the next person or somebody in the future. And then you got a lot of healing and stuff you got to go through in between, because a lot of people end up being stuck on the person that they had their child with and stuff like that. That's a lot of situation. So, and it throws off commitment, what we're talking about today at the end of the day. So, but I think people just need to go for it. Sometimes we do too much thinking, and when you see somebody you really want, go for them. Forget all the plan, all the option stuff. I think that's one of the worst things that's been dealt to us is the having all these options. Because how long, for people as individuals have to answer this question. How long have you been having all these options in your life?
Correct.
You started doing that when you were 17, 18, 19 years old. Now you 25, 30, 35, 40, and you still got all these options. It's time to stop with that. If you really want to be with somebody, just start to get focused now, and let's begin to commit. Go ahead, Rick.
No, and I mean, I like what you said, and you're right. like going forward, because I feel like that, you know, your past always kind of holds you back from going
Right.
forward, right? And going up, because you're like, okay, I made this mistake, and we just kind of overanalyze everything, and
Yeah.
you know, and I feel like that's where we mess up at. But I will say this though, I feel like that I want, you know, patience, because I at the same
Yeah.
time too patience, because I think sometimes the reason why that fear happens from us just going all in is the fact that we move so fast. We feel like that, you know, whether you, a woman or a man want to move, you want to get married so bad with the patience, like you like, you know, I'm getting older, because that's the first thing we do. We getting older. If you ain't got
Right.
kids, I ain't got kids now. So you put yourself in these situations where you feel like that you rushing, and I just kind of feel like that patience. And I understand the older you get, you kind of feel like that, you know, life is moving fast, which it is. But at the same time, because a lot of us have dated a lot of people, and when you date a lot of people, that those are a lot of different personalities, and you know, and sometimes it can kind of confuse you, because you're like, okay, especially like with me, you know, a woman, you're like, okay, well, she liked this, and then so when this woman, like, I'm thinking, you know, women like to be wine and dine, right? But it's
Right.
like I think that this woman like this, but then this new woman, she don't want wine and dine. She don't care about that. She don't care about those materialistic things and getting gifts and all this stuff. She wants conversation. She wants you to be you know, like that ear for her. She wants you to be there for her, like far as like she having a bad day. So a lot of women are different, but it confuses you sometimes, because when you date so many different women, you have so many different personalities, and you don't know how that person is. And that's why I say it's important to get to know the person that you're dating, because once you get to know that person that you're dating, it makes everything easy. And like I said, it's not just about the good, it's about the bad too. It's about when you don't, if a man or woman don't do something that you don't like, I mean, it's okay. If you get mad, cool, but get over it. Because at the end of the day, he don't know you. And you have to give that person benefit of doubt. Or if he do something, be able to talk to that person, let them know something that you didn't do that made you mad. Because I always say a person, whether a man or woman, cannot correct the situation if you don't tell that person what they messed up at. So
Right.
you can't get mad at me for something that we didn't communicate about, and then now you hold it against me. You ain't never gave me a chance to correct it.
Right.
So I think that's big too. Like, you know, if somebody do something that you don't like I said again, we talked about this in a couple episodes ago, where the communication about being able to voice your opinion, and but in a respectful way, and you can move forward from that. Now, like I said, if you can't talk to an individual about what you want to make you happy or to make the situation better, then I'm telling you right now, that's a that's a no, because you want
Right.
somebody that you can communicate with. And if you can't communicate with that person, then that's a failure right there at the beginning, because
Right.
then you're gonna be walking on eggshells. You're gonna be feeling like, oh, I can't talk to the person. So what happens when you can't talk to the person that you with? What you do? You go see your friends. You
That's
go to
right.
them female friends. You go to them guy friends. So yeah.
And Rick, I will piggyback something else onto that, and also some other things that guys do. And this, I don't feel that this is often talked about.
Okay.
Um, and this doesn't matter if, to me, really, if you're dating, in a relationship, or married. Okay,
Okay.
ladies, I know a lot of ladies, not every woman, but a lot of ladies, they love men making money. They love men hustling and stuff like this.
Correct.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you all need to really get to know the man that you're with,
Mm.
because if that man has not necessarily always been like that,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes men also do extra work to get away from you.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
They do
Woo!
extra work. They take upon extras because it's like, okay, well, a healthy way for me to deal with a lot of this and get away from all this is just to use my time to make money. At least that'll make me happier. But you need to understand, as being the other person, that they're doing that. Some men, not all, but some men are doing that to get away from you. So that's a big key thing that some ladies need to really hear, and we need to have more conversation around that. But Ricky, 42 Brooklyn,
Mm-hmm.
he said, not healing from negative past relationships causes hesitation, and that's 100% true. When
Mm-hmm.
you don't heal from negative past relationships, it causes you to be hesitant when you're meeting someone new. And we've talked about that a lot before, Rick, because of what people need to really be doing in between relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Some people perhaps should be getting therapy. Some people need to. You talked about a little bit earlier about the self love. What are some things you were mentioning earlier about what things people can do to have self love, or to just to be in that mindset of self love? What are some of the things they can be doing?
Okay. Personally, I just kind of feel like a couple of things they can do is just, I feel like this. Look, I'm gonna start from the occupation. Far as the main thing is what you do for a living, the job. Uh, I feel like finding, because we spend majority of our time at work. So
Mm-hmm.
I believe in finding something that you love, that you love to do. Because, you know what I'm saying, like a lot of us just, work at jobs because it's just a job, we gotta pay bills. And I
Right.
just, because a lot of the, I feel like a lot of that stress come from, and certain things come from like things working that job, like you're not getting paid properly. Uh, this going on at work, this and, that, and what happens? You're not happy at work, you bring it home, and then
There
you
you
get
go.
mad at you. Then you bring it home, and then you get mad at your significant other when he don't want to hear it. Because who I am as a person, I'm gonna tell you like this: there's two things you can do. You stay or you do something about it. And
Right.
if you ain't gonna do nothing about it, I'm the first person to sit here and say, well, I don't want to hear it. And maybe I word that wrong, or maybe I go about it wrong, because I just kind of feel it's just, to me, I kind of feel like it's just cut and dry like that. It's cut and dry when it comes down to, if you don't like something, you do something about it. Don't complain about it. Now it's okay. We all complain about jobs and things like that in life, but do something about it. Work towards making the situation better.
Right.
So I just kind of feel like that, that's one thing, far as whatever you're doing for your occupation, whatever you're doing, majority of the time doing, which is working. If now, if you're a stay home mom or dad, then that's a lovely thing. But nowadays we just don't really have it. Um, but I will say this too, self love, like I just kind of feel like, man, like you just have to find a happy place. Like with me, I just kind of feel like, man, like in life, like I'm just speaking for me. Things I like to do. I like to help. I like to help people. I feel like that. I think giving is very, very important. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't just about money. It's about your time. About one thing that I was when I was a little bit younger. What something that was important to me, I said, man, I want to get into the big brother, big sister program. I mean, you know, and being able to be a mentor to little kids and things like that, because I feel
Right.
like the youth is our future, and that's something that I felt like that. Other than what I had going on with myself, because I feel like self love is one thing, but I feel like if I could bring love to somebody else's life and bring them happy, or my wisdom, or whatever I can do to help somebody else, whether they older but younger, is more to me is more about the youth. That's something that I feel like I'm just speaking from my experience. I mean,
Yeah.
me as a person, but I just think, man, like it just depends on you. It really only that person, can figure that out. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm speaking from my experience, but I just think overall, it's just when you wake up in the morning, other than bills, I one thing with me, I'm gonna say this, Gary.
Yeah.
Music gets me through a lot.
Come
Okay.
on now.
So I can sit here like Michael Jackson song. I can see it still to this day. I can listen to certain of his songs. One of the songs is like The Man in the Mirror. That's important to me because I said, man, be that change that you want.
That's
You
right.
can't ask for something, you know what I'm saying, if you're not trying to be that change. Uh, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that R. Kelly.
Yep.
Uh, and I say that a lot. You know, a lot of people look at his music as being secular and things like that. But he has wrote a lot of songs for a lot of artists that are positive songs. You know, I believe I can fly. I am the greatest.
Right.
That was his song.
Right.
Like I said, one of my favorite albums from him is the Double album.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say that, man, because I just feel like that. You know, it just depends on who you are. And I'm just saying this for me as far as just music. Music get me through a lot. So let's go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, you good. And as you were saying that those things about, the self-love and etc., I feel like what you say, we need to know what makes us happy as individuals and make sure we stay in tune with that before we go into a relationship. And I'm gonna talk about something that some people just don't talk about anymore, as much anyway, the relationship with God. I feel like during that time where you're in between relationships and so forth, you need to really do that other work on yourself. And I know a lot of times the catchphrase more so now is self-love, which that goes as a part of this, but I look at God's love as being something different than self-love.
Okay.
Because self-love can be defined different ways for different people, but God's love, as it relates to scriptural type love, is going to be a standard. And
Yeah.
I think that a lot of times when we get in relationships and we're talking about and still talking about being committed. So y'all, we still on that. But these are the things we have to do in order to be committed. We got to
Mm,
learn certain things that are already the wisdom you talked about, Rick. We got a lot of wisdom that's been in these Bibles in our houses for relationships, for families, but we want to deny that wisdom
mhm.
and certain things like that. And I feel like we have to stop denying we have to stop denying things that we really believe in because
Mhm.
it's going to come out in your relationships anyway.
Mhm.
So when you're thinking about how you perceive a woman, what you see as being attractive in a woman, if you have certain spiritual beliefs, that's going to come out at some point. If you have certain spiritual beliefs about how you think a family should run, that's going to come out at some point. And so, one of the questions or one of the things that's often talked about in the Bible, or that people often talk about when it comes to relationship, is about being equally yoked, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So, a lot of times we're trying to deny that spiritual side, not even talk about it to a certain extent, but being equally yoked matters.
Mhm.
Because if y'all beliefs are so different, at some point that's going to clash.
Mhm.
It's going to be a major clash and it's going to be a major falling out if y'all can't find other ways to work through that. So we got to stop denying our beliefs, get with other people that share our beliefs.
Mhm.
You're not going to agree on everything, but it needs to be something to where you all are sharing your beliefs, and y'all share beliefs already and so forth, and have a standard for how y'all gonna move forward and a baseline at least. At least
Mhm.
y'all kind of know where y'all gonna start from, and then y'all build from there. And so I think that's something that's major when it comes to becoming commitment, being a single person, and so forth. Also, one of the words that I want us to talk about, Rick, and we started to talk about this on our other live.
Mhm.
We have to move. I know a lot of people have been on this independent mindset and so forth. I'm independent. I'm doing this and I'm doing that, whatever. And it kind of creates, in some regards, a selfish culture
Mhm.
of me, look at me, what I'm doing. If you're gonna get with me, this what you got to bring to the table and this and that. So on this topic of are you ready to be committed to someone? Are you ready to give? Are you ready to give somebody else what they need?
Mhm.
So in the midst of self-love, we also have to be thinking about loving somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're talking about being ready to be committed to someone, we have to take care of self first. But
Mm-hmm.
then before we even think about getting into a relationship with somebody else, we got to think about somebody else. What are they going to need from me? And I think that's where we fall short a lot of times. And it causes us not to even be able to get to those points of relationships because it's like we're not even asking ourselves that question. What
Mm-hmm.
are they going to need from me? What do I need to give? I need to make sure even before I get in relationships, I have the focus of saying or of asking this person that I'm about to meet, what are your needs? What do you need from me?
Mm-hmm.
How did your family do certain things when you all were raised?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's another thing, living together. If the two
Mm-hmm.
of you are gonna be living together at some point, guess what? Y'all gonna have to talk about how you do certain things.
Mm-hmm.
If one person is very clean, one person, well, let's say very clean in the sense of they clean 4 or 5 days out of the week. The other person normally only cleans once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Even stuff like that can cause clash. So really getting to know each other, knowing the needs of each person,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to really get to know that stuff really well if you want the relationship to work out. So those things are the things I feel like people as single people need to work on. It's not just about self-love. We got to stop. We got to add to the conversation. That's part of it. That is a major part of it. You got to know yourself first. You got to be happy within yourself. But then once you get beyond that point, you have to start thinking, what am I going to do? What work do I need to do? And another thing, I'll say this, and then I'm going to give the floor over to you, Rick. We got to start reading. We have to start studying about relationships. What
Mm-hmm.
are the needs of a man? What
Mm-hmm.
are the needs of a woman? I have a book right here, and I'm gonna hold it up, make sure y'all can see it good. It's from Dr. Miles Monroe.
It's upside
It's
down,
called.
bro.
It's a oh I don't know. It's not showing like that on my end. But
Oh,
anyway, I'll flip it over in a second. It's from
all right.
Dr. Miles Monroe. It's the purpose and power of love and marriage. So
Okay.
I'll flip it this way. I don't know if you can see it better like that, uh, but yeah, it's just cause I got it, to where it's
Yeah, I got you.
like coming back towards me. But yeah, but it's the purpose and power of love and marriage. And I know a lot of people listen to or look at the book from I think it's Dr. Gary Chapman about the 5 love languages. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a great book and I think it's great concept. But when it comes to relationships, Ricky, have you ever met a woman that needed more than 5 things?
That's a joke. Yes.
Right. Right.
Shit.
So this is
More than
way more detailed. This is way more detailed and will give you a lot of insight on what the needs of men are and the needs of women are. He has
correct.
all that stuff detailed in this book, and we'll talk about that on one of the topics. But Dr. Miles Monroe, for those just joining, that's somebody that I have read his book. He's on YouTube as well. He's done a lot of relationship seminars and all kinds of stuff like that. He's passed on now, but he was a great teacher when it comes to relationships and so forth and stuff like that. And the work that we have to do because we have to get to know not just ourselves, but we have to get to know the other sex because it'll make things easier if we really put that work in to study them, just like they need to put that work in to study us
Mhm.
because we need to be making life easier for each other and not harder for each other. But go ahead, Rick.
No, 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 you're good. I mean, and to piggyback on that, that's one of the things that I always said. I mean, what was important to me when I dated somebody is like, I pay attention. Me personally, I said, if my woman don't smile, I don't smile. So
Mm,
it was all about, I paid attention to everything that she talked about, family, she liked this. And she said she liked to sit at the table and eat. Pay attention to all that. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I want to make you happy, but like what you said, it don't just go, it's not one sided. It's just not me just pleasing you and me hearing you out and giving you what you need, but it go vice versa. And I just kind of feel like that, communication. I'm gonna keep speaking. I never thought in a million years I would be putting, respect has always been on top of my list, other than God, but like communication. And I understand why, women always say they want a man to communicate. And I'm seeing, as a couple women I dated, that's not the top of they list, because I'm like, you say that, but you're not communicating with me. You get mad at me for everything I don't do, but I didn't know that. Right. So I'm starting to see that, like, communication, like what you say about, like, at the end of the day, us getting to know each other. But a part of that is if a person is not doing something that you don't like, or you want that person to do, whether it's being intimate, whether it's holding hand, whatever it is, because I feel like that a person, like I said, I think I said it before in a couple episodes ago. I was like a part of me, I'm good at gift giving. Okay. And that might not be another man's forte. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that I always say that when you care about somebody, and that woman communicated to you saying that I like, thought behind the gift and things like this. She's telling you, you should give it your all, because when somebody is trying. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you got money, you can go out there and buy diamond rings and all that stuff. Because to me, if it ain't no meaning behind it, anything like that, those gifts don't mean nothing. But the thought, that's why they say when you put thought behind the gift, it means more than you just buying something. Because that thought that you put into, actually, like, a woman said something one time and you remember that. You know what I'm saying? And whether, like, it could be small things like a shoe size. Like, dang, he remember I only told him my shoe size one time. Or I only told him this favorite perfume this one time. So these are things I have known over time what women like. But at the same time, I've been in situations where, women, saying, well, I'm not good at this and all that. And it's cool. You communicate that, that's a good thing. But I always say, when you truly care about somebody, you want to make that person happy, you're going to do whatever it takes to make that person happy. You're going to figure it out. That's just what it is. We come up with excuses not to do something.
Right.
But we all know, like I said again, I can sit here and say, it's $1 million in Dubai right now. You just gotta go out there and find it. A person gonna sit here and ask everybody and their mama to get enough money to get that money to get on that plane to go out there. You're gonna do everything it takes to do that. Right. So we pick and choose certain things, far as what we want to go hard at, things like that. So
right. And one thing to add on to the communication piece there, Rick.
All right.
I want to say, make sure we talk about conflict resolution.
Okay.
With conflict resolution, being solution focused, all that kind of stuff like that. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because when you mention communication, like you say, some people communicate well at some things. Mm-hmm. They don't communicate well at everything. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. So when conflicts come up, right? Mm-hmm. Some people, instead of resolving the conflict, they're adding to the conflict. Mm. And that's their form of communication, is adding on to the conflict. So I think what a lot of couples need to do, and what I suggest that single people do as well, is you have to have that in your mind already. You have to be focused on, okay, when I have in my past, when I have got to a situation where me and somebody argue, me and this other person arguing, that I'm in a dating relationship with, etc. How have I normally resolved that? What can I do better in the future now to resolve that? I feel like that goes right in line with the topic. Are you ready to be committed to someone? That's part of the work you have to put in. You're gonna continue to do that work after you get with somebody too. but it's work you can also be doing while you're single. Always knowing how you want to resolve a situation at the end of the day. Like having
So,
that mindset. Yeah, no, go ahead.
no. So
Having
I
that
wanted to say, so
mindset.
do you think you have to be perfect? Like when you say like being ready to commit, do you think that you have to have all those things in line in order to be on that level? Like saying that I'm ready, because I feel like it's always going to be something. You know, you're
Yeah.
never going to have everything in line in order to say you fully committed or ready to commit and give a person your all. Because it could be some things that's holding you back, like finances. Like I might be committed. Well, I know I can give you my time and things like that, and I'm working on some things, but I might not be financially there.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, it's not necessarily that you have to know everything per se or be doing everything and all that kind of stuff, but
Okay,
it does help. It does help to prepare. So
correct.
just like you know, people have premarital counseling and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that because they're preparing for things that are to come. You're not
Okay.
going to be perfect, and it's also going to be stuff that perhaps is not even involved in the premarital counseling,
Mm-hmm.
but it does give you some type of guide as to know, okay, these are some hurdles you might not have even thought about,
Correct. Correct.
and stuff like that. And that's what you want to do, and that's why I say, and for those that might just be joining, that's why I say about this book here from Dr. Miles Monroe, The Purpose and Power of Love and Marriage. Like all the details that are in here about knowing about the needs of a woman, the needs of a man, and stuff like that. And you still have to get to know your partner individually and stuff like that. But this is it's a good overall view of what you're going to be stepping into. And that also gets us to step outside of just ourselves and knowing what we have to give to somebody else. Because, Rick, as we know, a lot of people we've come across in our lives, they've been selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Me and you have talked about that a whole lot.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's like we know we're not perfect, but we generally know what we're giving to them.
Mm-hmm.
And when we start looking at what we're receiving back, we kind of be coming up short sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, not in every situation, but in some situations we come up short because a lot of people, hey, like we talked about, they got the self-love stuff down pat. They know
Mm-hmm.
what they're gonna make sure they taken care of, but they're not necessarily knowing how to take care of somebody else. So that stuff I feel like people need to start doing their research on, how to start reading the same way. And Dr. Miles Monroe talked about this. He said there's a reason that people keep their careers longer than they keep their marriages. It's because you go to school and you study for your careers. Like even if you don't go to college, even at any job you go to, you have trainings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has some form of training. That's education as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting educated at what you do every day. But when it comes to relationship and marriage and family, you're dumb and stupid
Mm-hmm.
because and meaning not meaning that in a negative way, but meaning that in the sense that you're not doing the training.
Mm-hmm.
You're not having training. You're not reading. You're not researching enough. And you can't just do that for yourself as an independent person. You have to do that for a potential spouse that you are about to be with. And that's showing that you're preparing for commitment. That's how people will just kind of instantly know when they come across you. Man, this person ready. I asked them this and that. They got answers for a lot of stuff that most people don't even think about. Because
Mm-hmm.
guess what? You've been reading, you've been preparing, been researching, etc. You're not going to be perfect, but you do have you start off from a better place and you can communicate about more stuff that you never thought about when you're meeting people.
Okay. Were you about to start on something else, or?
No, you good. Go ahead.
So, me and you talked about this the other day. So and it was going through my mind as you was talking. We was talking about the movie Acrimony, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I want to throw a question out to you,
Okay.
saying that let's change the roles, like let's switch it around. So, if anybody have watched that movie, it was Taraji P. Henson and the other fella. I don't know his name, but it was a situation in the movie where they met at a young age. I think they was in high school, and she came into some money, and she with this fella, and they ended up getting married, and she invested, in his dream. He had I think it was like an invention that he felt like that can take them to the next level, but it was hard. And as the time went on, bills started to pile up and things like that, and she started to get frustrated, and to the point where she ended up, just saying like enough is enough, and she ended up just leaving him. But on the flip side of that, that invention ended up doing good, and he got paid for it. So my question is to you, Gary. Let's switch it. If you like the tables was turned where you had the money. Hold on, yeah, you had the money, and your girlfriend at the time, you actually she had this invention, or she had something that she felt like that can bring y'all more money towards the future because y'all heading in that direction as far as getting married. And you was giving her money, and you felt like that. Okay, it's not working. Let's switch it up. That's what you communicated to her about, and she sticking to her dream. So over time, bills started to build up. Okay, so how would you handle that situation where you believe in the person, but over time it's just getting hard, and you see it like it's not working, but she believed in her dream. So let's switch that up. How would you handle that situation? Would you handle that situation the same in that movie, or what?
Yeah, and like I said, I would handle it the same way as in the movie. And
Okay.
like you said, Taraji was a person that kind of held things down. She stayed patient with him from college, and then after college and all that kind of stuff. And then, what we talked about, the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak,
Yeah.
was when the other family members, they helped to set him up for a good job. And something happened. Something happened, and he couldn't make that interview. And because I think it had something to do with his invention that day, where he actually
Mm-hmm.
was going to perhaps get offered something. Something happened either way, and he wasn't able to make it. But it's because of how long it was.
Mm-hmm.
Because it spanned from, let's just say, you got 4 years of college, so let's just call it 4 years of
Mm-hmm.
that, and then let's just say it was another 4 years
Mm-hmm.
after college. And
8 years.
so that's 8 years where the person hasn't been producing. So that's all you have to go on is the 8 years where they've been putting their all into this, but you've had to hold everything down yourself. And that gets tough at some point because it's like at minimum, I would say this. With that person, even though you believe in them, that person has to at least consider getting a part-time job to help with something. You see what I mean? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's say you got and like I said, I think marriage and relationships should be about being flexible as well, because we know how somebody's invention and ideas can take off, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that person that's going to do that invention and those business or whatever they're going to do, at least work part-time. At least do that. And meet, like we talk about, meeting in the middle, being reasonable, being agreeable and stuff like that. At least be reasonable and meet and do something part-time where you at least can take care of utilities. Let's just say you take care of the utilities, the other person still taking care of the mortgage and so forth like that, right? I feel like that's reasonable. What do you think about that?
I feel the total opposite.
Okay.
The reason why I say that is because if you're married, let's just say,
Uh-huh.
you married, vow say for better or for worse. So this is the thing that I have to say to everybody. It's going to be hard. Who says it has to be hard for 2 years or 3 years or 8 years? You want to know that somebody got your back, and because you know somebody hard, and you know that person. The thing is, you're going to stick by them. Like, And one thing I know being a man is like, it's just hard enough just being, to me, being a black man, you know, first of all. So I just kind of feel like that you want that support. Now I understand what you're saying to the point where it's like, you know, it's time period, like a 4 years, 8 year span. I totally understand it. And this, whoever said that life is going to be hard, whoever said that marriage is going to be easy, we know that. But the thing is, you just want to know that, look, I know he's trying. And that's when communication comes into place. Like what you said about the part-time. Did she ever communicate that to him? Say, look, I believe in your dream and I support that, but can you still do this? And I'm just saying, because that didn't happen in the movie, but I'm just saying, so when you say that, Gary, and I'm, you know, I understand that. So it's all about communication, but you know, a man or a woman, me personally, I believe women will support when they sitting here, when they, you know, doing what they want to do. They in school, they want to be a nurse, or they want to be a doctor or a lawyer, whatever the case may be. They want support. Everybody wants support, and you want that person that you care about to support you. And if you sit here, every chance you get, you want to sit here and complain about, you don't got no time for me, or this and that, or you ain't paying bills and all that nagging stuff. You already got all these other junk going on. You just want somebody to support. And I feel like this. If you feel that way, just keep your mouth shut. You know, it's certain ways to dealing with that. When you start to run that mouth, that's the last thing a person want to got there hear. So it's ways of doing that. If you feel that way, you can get your point across in that same way, but just in a different way. Instead of saying you need to do that, because when you talk to me like that as a grown man, you need to do that. As a man, I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do, but you know what I'm saying. So I take that in a way. I kind of feel like that. I'm like, okay, I only got one mother, so I feel like you're trying to tell me what to do. So it's all about how you word things instead of, you know, talking, you know, at me and just say, look, hey, babe, I think we do this because I believe in your dream. I believe in what you're trying to do, and I believe in what you're trying to do for us. And right now, it's not happening. So let's figure out another way where you still can do that, and we do this on the side so we still can get the bills paid. Bam.
So, Rick,
yeah,
you said three words, but I'm gonna flip them around on you. Okay?
Oh, don't do that on me. Don't do that.
I'm gonna flip them around on you. You said that you know, like marriage being better for worse, and the vows and stuff that you take and so forth, right?
Yep.
And you mentioned that, like Taraji in that sense, or in the criminal, or that she should just continue to show that she has his back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on the flip side, how is he showing her that he has her back?
Good. Yeah, no, I feel you on that. And the only thing I can sit here and say, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, how is he showing her that he has her back when you remember it was discussed, it was communicated about that last job offer.
Mm-hmm.
That was communicated with Taraji and him, and it was communicated even with members outside of Taraji. I mean, like members of the family, friends. Well, I think it was like sisters, I think it was, and then maybe their husbands, stuff like that. So all of them knew that he was supposed to go to that interview. To me, you have to do whatever it takes to get to that interview. And I can't remember all the details of what happened on that particular day. I know it was some traffic and some running late and all that kind of stuff that happened.
It was a lot of stuff.
There was a lot of stuff, but my thing is you have to do whatever it takes to get to that interview, because even if you you know, reach, of course, you got your invention, you want to reach out to the people to say, hey, I need to reschedule with you all because something came up. You know what I mean? So don't pursue that invention on that particular day. That's not the last day to be able to do that.
But I don't think, I didn't mean to cut you off. I don't think that was the case. I think that it was conflict. I think, to be honest, and I'm gonna go back and watch this because I want to make sure. But I believe that something. I think he had that in place first, and then they came to him second with the interview.
I don't think so. I think
Yeah,
something came up that day because
and
remember, even he
maybe
was,
so because he was driving the truck because he was driving a truck for somebody.
yeah, because he was supposed to do that delivery. He was supposed to get
Correct.
that delivery there by a certain time, I think, something
Mm-hmm.
like that. And he
We were
got
talking about the.
sidetracked.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, it was traffic and well, he tried. No, I think he while he was on the way, he veered off and tried to show his invention to somebody. He thought he was gonna have enough time to do that and get back on the road to get to the interview
Correct.
or
Correct.
whatever, or
Correct.
to
Correct.
or to have that package delivered on that day. But he
I
wasn't
think that
able to get it delivered in time,
correct.
something like
I
that.
think you're right. Yeah. 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 You're
So,
right.
and that's what I'm saying. How in that situation did he show he had his wife's back on that day after all that she had done for him over the years and making sure he good, which that's what you're supposed to do in marriage. You got to sacrifice something, you got to give up something, and so forth. But after so long, 8 years or more, however long it was at that particular time, you know, I feel like Taraji was reasonable in what she did, and because remember they were already about to. I think you correct me if I'm wrong. I think they were already about to lose the house, right?
Yeah.
If he
Mm-hmm.
didn't get that job or get that money from that particular delivery that he had to
Mm-hmm.
do on that job. So you have to consider that. For me, you just have to consider that as well. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna read. Just put. We're gonna put a bookmark right there. We're gonna come right back to. I'm gonna read LaKendrick's comment. He said, "I agree with Rickey. I feel a man will support a woman and grind till the end. Feel most women won't help support a man and help him build to a higher level." Now, LaKendrick, I'm gonna say this. I actually agree with both of y'all on that piece right there. I do feel that a man will support a woman and grind till the end in most cases, and feel that most women won't help support a man and help him build to a higher level. For the most part, I agree with that. But then, of course, not all women. But yeah,
Correct.
for the
Correct.
most part, a lot of women, yeah, that I agree with that. So yeah, we all agree when it comes to that at the end of the day. But like
Cause
I
you
said,
right.
I just believe in being reasonable. Like make reasonable decisions. Don't leave neither partner should leave the other one out there to where they having to bust their butt to do everything. Like do something to always. I don't care if you're in the best situation or not. And the least you can do is make that person's life easier and more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you can at least do. Like so, anything, man. Let's say for example, Rick. Let's just say the woman is the one making more money because we're in a new time. Let's just
Mm-hmm.
go with that. The one you're in a situation where a woman, let's say she already has kids before she met you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this ain't trying to domesticate nobody or nothing like that. Just talking about the situation for right now, just
Mm-hmm.
for what the situation would be at that moment anyway. If the woman is working more and it's something like Taraji's situation in that movie,
Mm-hmm.
do things that make her life easier. So if go do some errands that so when she get off work she don't have to do them. You
Correct.
see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like accommodate her while you still working on your invention. Do some things for her that will make things easier at home. Like while you still working on your invention and so forth, go and do some side jobs that don't necessarily take you to where you have to work them all day, but you still bringing some kind of money in to keep things flowing. You see what I mean? Just
Yeah. No.
do things.
I'm
Yeah,
with you.
just do all I'm saying is be reasonable. That's it. And that's for men and women. Be reasonable at all times in what you do. and try to always, and that's a part of giving. Make sure you're making life better and easy for the both of y'all, as easy as possible. Everybody gonna go through hard times, but make
Correct.
life as easy as possible for y'all, because y'all won at the end of the day. Y'all should be
And,
working together all the time. But
and
you
you
go.
know you're right. And that, to me, I think that's like in the perfect world. And the reason why I say that is like what you're saying is like because I think the reason why men have so much pressure on them because they get so much nagging from women, and not all,
Right,
not
right,
all,
right, right,
but I'm just saying it happens. And men sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves where we got to do this. So the reason why he probably felt like, because what I remember from the movie was, she started, you need to do that. And it's like, you want to do this because you know this invention can set you up straight. So you know
right,
about working that 9 to 5 job, that's not going to get you what you need.
right.
Matter of fact, I'm going to switch gears on another movie. And this is my movie. It's Not Easily Broken by Bishop T.D. Jakes with Morris Chestnut and Taraji P. Henson. I don't know why Taraji keep coming up, but she likes to play those roles in those movies. Okay. But in that movie right there, prime example, where Morris Chestnut was a baseball player, he got hurt. He didn't make the money, you know what I'm saying? And she was a realtor. She made decent money, but the house they was in and stuff like that, like back to me, I feel like they was living beyond their means. But he was like, well, you chose that house, right?
Right,
So
right, right.
I remember a prime example when they went to that restaurant and she was like,
Yeah,
oh, we'll pay for it. And he looking like, like, what you mean? Like, she put him on his spot and he didn't,
right,
the credit card got declined.
right,
But
right.
the reason why I brought that up was the pressure that he had on him as a man. That she
Yeah,
constantly like he was talking about like I want to coach the boys. Like no, you need to be doing this. You need to be focused on your construction business, and we need
right,
this and we need that. So when I'm saying this, sometimes too, man, like to go back what you were saying, like yes, everything that you were saying, I agree 100%. But in a perfect world, I feel like that's correct. But I feel like in the world that we live in now, and that's the thing that needs to be changed, not only for women, because some men nag too, you know what I'm saying? But it's like just being supportive, like, because sometimes we nag so much where it's like a person puts so much pressure on themselves, like where like, man, like if I don't do this and if I don't do that, man, she gonna leave me. Or
right, right, right.
I'm not gonna get sex tonight, or she probably gonna go out there and cheat. I don't know. Or a woman might feel like that too. Like, okay, if I don't do this for him, she might be tired. He still want me to wash his clothes. He still want me to cook. Whatever the case may be, we get to this situation where we are so afraid of not doing something because of something that we might not get, or
Right, right.
what somebody might do. So when I was saying in the perfect world, that one was just saying like the nagging. I feel like that people do certain things, Gary, especially, far as a man, we do certain things that we probably wouldn't do. We try to do 2 and 3 jobs and do this and try to get this type business and things like that because that pressure that's on us. I
Well,
mean,
but this
yeah.
thing I was gonna say with that, Rick,
Okay.
a criminal and not easily broken. Taraji is different in
Both
those
of them.
movies, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Night and
so
day.
so right. So that's what I mean by that. And in my opinion, and not easily broken, I do not agree with Taraji and what she was
Yeah.
doing as a wife.
Mm-hmm.
In a criminal, I do agree with Taraji and her character and what she was doing. So I look at those situations differently. So in not easily broken, she wasn't listening to her husband, wasn't respecting what he liked to do and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that because he was working and doing different things and making time for things he liked to do. And she wasn't respecting those other aspects of his life. She was completely focused on money, period, and maintaining that house and looking in a certain way to the real estate clients and all that
Mhm.
kind of stuff like that. So in that role, she's like a lot of she in that role is like a lot of modern women today, uh, just wanting everything, materialism, and gotta have this, gotta have that. We supposed to be getting this, supposed to be getting that. Stop spending time with them boys, trying to tell you what to do type of situation. Whereas Taraji in Acrimony was
Acrimony.
more, yeah,
Acrimony.
Acrimony, she was more supportive,
Hmm.
like what you talk about a lot. She was way more supportive of him at the end of the day. But it
So
just got
okay.
to a situation where it was just completely out of hand. I feel like at that point, it was out of
So why did
hand.
she? So let me ask you something, Gary. So why in Acrimony, why she got mad when he finally like moved on and the invention took off and he got that money, but he still the money that she gave him, he gave that back to her. So why was she so mad at the end of the movie? Why do you think she was so mad at the end of the movie? And why she
I, I
acted the way she did it?
I think she was so mad because of all the time she put into that relationship. She
Mm-hmm.
didn't. She did not. She wanted that. She like I said, all the energy that she put in a relationship. That's what she had been doing all of that for. And she hated the fact that it didn't come to fruition or manifest while they were together, but it just was what it was. But to me, no, she shouldn't have been that mad. He gave her the money and so forth. Um, it's just one of them things in life that can happen like that sometimes. But she should have took the time. I'm talking about Taraji.
Yeah.
Taraji should have taken the time to heal, move on, and understand. Because hey, he at least did that. That's the point where I agree with the guy
Mm-hmm.
because he did give her the money and so forth
Mm-hmm.
to hey, this is this and that whatever. And so and then she came to his place, well, him and his new wife place, and
Oh,
saw what it
that,
looked
that
like.
was on the boat. That was on the boat.
Yeah, because wasn't that boat like something he said he was gonna get for her or something?
Yep.
See, and it see
Yep.
that it
Yeah.
brought up certain kind of feelings,
Feelings. Yep. Yep.
and stuff like that at that time. But Taraji got to let that go at that point because look, you, the relationship went how it went. It was unfortunate all the way around, unfortunate. But
So is that and that was a movie, but I always say
right,
movies is like real life to me because they get the ideas from real life situations.
right.
So do you think that's the issue that we run into when we women or men, where it's like the reason why Taraji got mad was because you put so much effort into this situation, and the person I wanted you to be, or what I was supporting you on, and now it didn't happen when you was with me, but then you're gonna be with that girl, because that's why most women, from what I heard from my female friends, things like that, is where that's the fear with them is they see the potential, they see what are the potential, they know that you're a good person, and then you don't act right with me, but then you everything I wanted with you, the family, everything, and then you get with this woman, and then this is everything that I wanted. So why do you think? So my question is to say that why do you think women or men feel that way when they feel like they put so much effort into a person to make that situation work, and it don't work, and they move on to the next person, and everything that they wanted in the past they get with the next person? So why do you think that happens?
Okay, so like same circumstances keep repeating themselves over again.
Correct.
Well, I feel like that happens in a lot of situations because um, not healing in between relationships,
Okay.
and so and trauma. So people are replaying stuff in their minds about what happened to the last person they were with,
Correct.
and that causes them to sabotage future situations because it's
Mm-hmm.
like, and this is something I was explaining to somebody earlier today. It's
Mm-hmm.
like what what some women do and some men as well. It's like you're getting even or you're getting revenge on whoever is in front of you.
Mm.
And whereas because you still have that person on your mind that hurt you, so you just all you doing you're just displaying it with whoever is in front of you, and so
Mm-hmm.
that's why I often talk about people need to heal in between relationships. You don't
Correct.
need to just jump right into something else because 9 times out of 10 you're not ready, especially with what you just described there, Ricky. When you done put a lot of energy and effort and thought, and you feel like you did everything right with somebody, and it
Correct.
didn't work out, that's
Mm-hmm.
hurtful. It's
Mm-hmm.
disappointing. It's hurtful. It's all of that, and it can throw you off, and
Mm-hmm.
it throws off your timing in life, and as you moving forward and stuff like that, and it drains you too. It
Mm-hmm.
does a lot to you. So you meet a new person, and you don't even have the energy to give to them like you should. And you don't have that because you're still thinking back in your head about this other person that you was with. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I feel like happening in a lot of situations. It's like you sabotaging everything that's in front of you now because you haven't dealt with your past. A lot of people need therapy. They need good people to talk to. And unfortunately, Rick, in our time today, a lot of people don't like to talk about problems. It's rare that you can go to people and talk about things that's on your mind and they really give you some full attention to talk
Mm-hmm.
about that because they'll be quick to say, "Oh man, you being negative, just get over that shit, man," or
Yeah.
get over this shit, girl," and stuff like that, instead of really talking to you about what's really going on. But
Correct.
everybody's different. Everybody don't have that listening ear that they can give you like that, and it's unfortunate, and they think you negative because you talking about situations like it's not negative. You human. You just human. You need to talk about stuff. And a lot of people see, Rick, in life, I feel like this, man. It
Mm-hmm.
like when we see relationships in Hollywood or just in general, you or we look at certain people, right? And you might be like, man, I would have never thought this person would have cheated on this person,
Yeah.
or this would have happened to them. That's
Mm-hmm.
why, Rick, because those people, it's like you forcing this positivity on yourself. You forcing like that's negative. If you, it's not negative. People have to learn how to express their emotions and really talk to other people and stuff like that. And that's a problem that goes on in our society all the way around. We look at negative, what's positive and what's negative the wrong way a lot of times.
Correct. Correct. Mm-hmm. And
So
that,
that's why.
and to piggyback on what you was just saying is, I will say this too. Uh, who you talking to?
Yeah.
Because it's hard for a person to give you positive feedback when they junk ain't right.
Right.
So the
Right.
last thing they want to see here, so a negative mindset is like, man, forget that. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Right.
why. So I would tell anybody is when you want that constructive criticism or you want good positive feedback, for whatever you talking to them about, you need to talk to the right people
Yeah.
because if that person is negative, man, they ain't trying to hear that. The saying is the birds of a feather flock together. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm happy, I want you to be miserable and unhappy just like me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So you have to really you have to really consider that too when you're talking to somebody. You have to really know what you're talking to them about, and as soon as they come to you with some negative junk, you be like, you know what, okay. But I believe that you're gonna know who you talk to because not everybody is comfortable talking to certain people. So
Right.
I believe in like whoever you choose to talk to about certain things, you know who you talk. You know you're comfortable talking to that person about whatever you're talking to them about. So, but just I want people to understand that you can't talk to everybody about everything. You know what I'm saying? Like I have
Absolutely.
certain friends that I confide in about certain things with relationships because of their situation. Like, and you build this over time in friendship where I'm like, okay, this friend right here, he's married and he has a good marriage, and so I know I can go to him and get that good advice that I need. I'm not gonna go to that friend that been married 3 and 4 times. Now I would go to that person that been married 3 or 4 times when it comes to certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, but it just, you just have different friends you want to talk to about certain things when it comes to, whatever you want to talk to. So you have to just understand that and just know you can't talk to everybody about everything. Yeah,
Right.
that's it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm gonna look at some just look over some real quick.
Okay.
Um, and then we're gonna jump right into something.
ATL. Oh, rest in peace and young Dolph too, man. It's unfortunate. Your hometown, Gary, Memphis,
Yeah.
Tennessee. If anybody don't know, Young Dolph was a underground rapper, a rapper that was very talented. I really don't know the whole situation, what happened. I don't know if they put it out there, but he lost his life. Was it today? Earlier today?
Yeah. Earlier today.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. From what I heard, he was going into a store to buy cookies, and the person said that somebody just started shooting. So, rest in peace to his family, his kids, and everything, man. Just we have to stop this killing. We have to love one another, man. Like, I tell people, man, life is too short. You have to treat people the way you want to be treated. We have to stop just living in hate, man. Like, that's just not good. People to lose their life over bull crap. It's serious out here. Road rage. People are losing their life because of road rage. We're losing people because people are careless, drinking and driving. Uh, but I do want to. I'm going to touch on that right quick, just a split second, Gary.
Go
Henry
ahead.
Ruggs. Henry Ruggs, the receiver from Las Vegas Raiders, formerly receiver from Las Vegas Raiders. He killed a 23-year-old young lady and her dog. Uh, Reckless driving. I think they say he was doing about 150, uh, and was drunk, and he killed her. So, and I know he felt bad because they showed a picture of somebody consoling him, afterwards, and he felt bad, he was crying and stuff like that, and he felt bad because he know he messed up. And I'm not here to judge him. We all make mistakes, and that's what I want everybody to know. Yes, he made a mistake. He took somebody's life because of his his decisions. But at the same time, man, we still need to uplift him, pray for him, man. Pray that pray for his family and pray for the victim family. And but I just want us to start being more responsible. Start being more responsible, knowing, man, it's consequences to everything you do. You should have to know that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna drink and drive, it's a possibility. If you hit somebody, they gonna test you and things like that. So I just want us to just be more, you know, I don't know. I just had to speak on that, man, because it's hurtful, man, because somebody 2 lives are gone. He gonna be doing
Yeah.
a lot of time in jail, and the person lost their life. So I just want to touch on that a little bit. And like I said, again, rest in peace, young Dolph.
Got
Yeah.
it.
hmm
Uh, uh, um, And let me see where I want to go with that, man. Let's see here. So just as far as I'm gonna come back, I had just typed something down about the being oh, Rick, what I want to ask you, just tell me a few top things that come to mind. So let's say that you are married, right? You're married. What are a few top things that you feel like just when you think about today's women,
Mm-hmm.
what are a few top things that you say if they change these things around, marriages would last long?
Trust. Um, Trust and support.
Okay.
Those are the two main factors to me: trust and support. Because I feel like that in most situations, man, a lot of women go off their past, and it's always, you know, I would say this: if you've been accused of something and you're not doing it, that's the worst feeling in the world. Like because of the past, like it's crazy because I've been in situations like that where I would honestly do stuff on purpose just to see the reaction. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I have no reason to hide anything, but I would be on my phone and I just see she looking in the corner of the eye like, or it's so many different things. But I know that just come from things that women have been through in their past, and guys and things like that. And I just kind of feel like this. I will say this, and I think I talked to you about this before, Gary. I'm very trustworthy. If I'm gonna be with you, I trust you. That's just what it is. If I have to sit here and go through your phone, if I have to sit here and question you about everything that you do, I don't need to be with you. I'm sorry. Like that trust is just gonna come where I ask you, if you answer the phone, I'm like, what you doing? And you say you at the grocery store, you at the grocery store. I'm not gonna sit here and say, you know, well, why I don't hear nobody in the background? Why I don't hear no register going off?
Right.
Or and things like that. It's just too much, and I just feel like because I want women and men to understand this. There's nothing you can do from stopping that person from doing what they want to do. I'm
Right.
sorry,
Right.
they're gonna find a way. Period. If they want to do something, and if you have to do all that, listen to me. You don't need to be with them. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop driving yourself crazy. Stop being stressed over things that you shouldn't be stressed about. You know, now certain things you might have to question. If you see it, like you washing your husband or wife clothes or girlfriend clothes or boyfriend clothes, and you got a phone number in there. All right, you can question it, but
Right.
you ain't got to be like. But you don't have to say, man, who the fuck number this is. Uh, why this? Because that could have just been somebody that, let's just say I do photography. A woman that gave me her number and I ain't having a chance to put it in my phone or whatever the case may be. She wanted me to take pictures of her and her family, her husband and her kids. Again, it's how you talk to somebody. Because what happens if a woman come at me like that, I'm gonna be like, "What you mean?" And I'm gonna come back at you like that. And you know what I'm saying? And it just don't have to be like that. It just have to be about just let's respect each other. Let's talk to each other like adults.
Right.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah, and so I would just say this just to add on to those things.
Okay.
I feel like just some of the top things that will help in marriage and to to go along with this commitment thing and some things that we just need to have as tools in our toolbox.
All right.
Um, we got to address the fear. like you talk about fear of things that happen in people's past, you gotta address that. And also this next thing I really want to just kind of make sure I mention, we gotta stop having one foot in, one foot out, because people people have this question in their mind all the time of what if it don't work out? What's my backup plan? What I'm gonna do? And it's like you're splitting your energy between two things. You're splitting your energy between being committed and then being single. And
Hallelujah.
you can't split between the two. You gotta be all the way in or you need to be all the way out. And you can't let fear of other people's relationships affect your relationship. That ain't got nothing, their situation ain't got nothing to do with you. And also, one thing I say as well, historically, I feel like a lot of women, they have looked at or heard the stories of their grandmothers, great grandmothers, etc., how their lives went. They weren't happy, that so to speak, and that's not true for all older women. So I don't know why that lie is spread like that. That wasn't true for all women and stuff like that. But you have to make a total commitment to the person. You gotta stop the one foot in, one foot out. You're not totally committed. I don't know from day to day how I'm gonna be with you. That fear shows up in the actions of people, not just women, but men and women. It shows up in the actions that you do in your relationship, and it's that wishy-washy type stuff. And you can't be like that with a person. You just need, if it's the person for you, you got to be all the way in. Let it go. Be all the way in. Let all that other stuff go. All them other people go. Um, Other people's opinion of your relationship. Um, People that's trying to convince you that your spouse ought to be doing more for you, because another thing people have to understand, some people they just really want to tear down your relationship because it's not something they have. And that can be whether they are married and they don't have as good of a marriage as you all have, or it could be they just hating on you because they ain't got nobody. It could be a number of things. So stop taking other people's opinions so serious about your marriage and your life or your relationship or the person you're dating or whatever it is. Be focused on who you with. Be all the way in with, and go from there. And then this last thing I'll mention, as far as top things that kind of affect how people see marriage and how people are in that are may already be married, or those that are dating that eventually want to get married. We talked about this a number of times. Um, when a woman is single, Rick, whether they are by themselves single or whether they have children and they're single, right? How much of their bills are they responsible for at that time? If they're in one of the, if all of it. So they're 100% responsible for all of their bills at that time. Why do you think that you should go from being 100% responsible for everything to 0% when you get with a man? Like, and I'm talking about for when you're married or long-term relationship and stuff like that. Ladies, I think, and Rick, of course, as we talking, I think that's one of the biggest issues that we have about when it comes to finances, relationships, etc. That women should have no responsibility when it comes to financial matters. Being provided for does not mean that. It does not mean that a man's supposed to take care of 100% of everything. That's the biggest lie, and that keeps us divided and apart. Whereas what we should be thinking about is this: we should be thinking about every reason that we can work together. Because what does working together do, Rick? You pay off stuff faster, right?
Yep.
So let's say you get car, the two of y'all working together, both of y'all pay the car off. Two of y'all got a house, both of y'all working together to pay the house off. And guess what? After a while, Rick, as all of those major things that you have to pay for, after they get paid off or paid way down over the years, guess what's going to happen? It's going to be more reasonable that the man can take care of everything, because we're in a new time now. And I'm sure everybody know mortgage prices have gone up, rent has gone up on apartments, and all kinds of stuff. Go to the grocery store, milk, other groceries has gone up, gas prices have gone up, everything. And so you have to think about this. Why do you think you're going to leave a situation you're paying 100% of everything? You know all this inflation is going on, all prices are going up, and you still refuse to work with somebody else.
It's because we're trying to keep up with the Joneses. I'm sorry, and that's just what it is, because I believe the reason being is with, men and women, cars and things like that, the things that we know that we can't afford. Because like you said, all that extra money that you got now can go on those credit cards, or paying double on them credit cards, or paying double on them car notes to get that paid down. And to me, I always say this: when you stress at a job and things like that, and you say, "Oh, hey baby, let's go on a trip." The extra money that we save right here, now we can go on that trip.
Bingo. It's common sense.
Yeah.
It's common damn sense. If you work together, if you work together on the stuff, it's so much stuff that you can do. Because Ricky, let's say when people are in a relationship, they thinking about marriage, they talking about what things they want to do in life, in general, things they want to do in life, places they want to go. Okay, you want to travel to the Middle East, you want to go to Australia, you want to go to Great Britain, you just want to travel, you want to see the world. All that's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But this is the question. What will it take for us to do that?
Work together.
And you're going to have to sacrifice some stuff. You can't have
work together,
everything.
sacrifice.
Yeah, you can't have everything. And you gotta, and this is the big one, discipline. You gotta have discipline. So if at the end of the month you're supposed to be saving, between the two of y'all I'm talking about, you should be saving 500, 1,000, 2,000 between the both of y'all. And that's what you have to do. Don't find new things to spend money on, because finances are one of the major reasons that people break up and divorce, because of how they manage their finances. So as a single person, and still going back to this topic of, are you ready to be committed to someone, those financial things are things you need to learn along the way. Find out, learn your spouse what's important to them financially. Let them learn about you financially, and work together. If you work together, you will be able to do so much stuff. Go to concerts you want to go to, shop a little bit more, and you'll just be able to do a lot more stuff if you work together. Ladies, it is not men's responsibility to make sure you dressing like your friends, you got the same car as your friends, or a better car than your friends. When they get a new roof on their house, or some new decorations, it ain't our responsibility to keep up with no other household. And same thing for us men. We ain't supposed to be keeping up with our guys and stuff like that. We ain't supposed to be doing it. Ain't about no competition. Be smart in life. Just think and work together. If you come and both of y'all are reasonably working together, guess what? It's so much you can do. The houses that you're looking at, the wealth that people say that we need to be passing on to the next generation, all that stuff men and women both think about. So that stuff, you have to make it happen. And you can't do that stuff and be selfish, because like I say, being selfish in relationships and in marriages is what destroys it. That, because you're being selfish with finances, You being selfish with how you do stuff. You being selfish with how you talk to your
Mm-hmm.
spouse. You being all of that is being selfish and disrespectful as well. In
Mm-hmm.
addition to, so those are the things people have to work on, and that's the work single people need to do. And even as you get married, you still have, like I often say, it ain't just about single people. Even after you get married, you still have to keep that stuff in mind, and because you can't take that person for granted. You
Correct.
start taking the person for granted, you'll lose them.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. So you
Mm-hmm.
cannot do that. Those are the things you have to work on in relationships and so forth. If you're really ready to be committed to somebody, like I say, go all in. None of that 1 foot out, one foot in, 1 foot out stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Go all the way in for
Mm-hmm.
them. And that's all I got.
Yeah.
What anything else you want to say on that, Rick?
No, to be honest, bro, I mean, I love everything that you just said, and that's just true. I mean, it's just all about, like I said, sacrifice is number one thing, but then just being on the one accord, just being on the same page, being on the same page when it comes to finance, because I feel like the ultimate goal is y'all both want nice things. Y'all both want to go on these trips and things like this, but you can't have those things where y'all not on the same page. One person doing one thing, the other person doing another. Because, like you said, that's going to end in division. It's going to end up in getting divorced or breaking up because one person is dedicated to making things better, and the other person is focused on having designer stuff or whatever the case may be. And I don't want people to understand it's nothing wrong if you want nice things because I think we all, men and women, like nice things. So there's nothing wrong with that. But how do you get those nice things? And I believe in what Gary just said. If you work together and figure out your finances and pay double or however you decide on doing it, if you can save $500 extra, and you have communicated to your husband and said, hey baby, I really want this purse. And
Right.
it might be way more than what he normally would pay for something. But because he see that y'all working together and you deserve it, he'll do it for you. I really
Yeah.
believe a man or a woman would do it. Just like a man. A man, hey, you know what? I know he want that pool table and he want a man cave.
Right.
And I know he wanted that pool table down there, but we saving this money. I can do that for him. So that's the thing. I think that we just got to do, man. We just have to sit here and just really listen to one another and like you said, Gary, just work together. Work together. That's the
Yeah.
number one thing. Working together. If you don't work together, you will not have anything. And that's the reason why a lot of relationships and marriages don't work out. Communication, not working together, being selfish, because if you're selfish, that's not going to work either. If you
Yeah.
got a selfish heart and you just only care about you and yourself and what you got, it's not going to work. Because eventually, that man or woman is going to get tired of that crap.
Yeah.
And they're going to say, you know what? No, this ain't cool. Because like I said again, it's a when you dating, that's a trial period. That's a what's the word I'm looking for?
There you go. Yeah.
Interview. It's an interview.
It's the interview. Yeah.
So that's not just because you date somebody doesn't mean that person is gonna pick you or that person is gonna fall for you because that's the whole purpose of dating. And I did want to throw a question out to you and LaKendra, aka Rozzy. Uh, uh, so far as dating, so Gary, I think you told me this before, but I just want you to kind of talk about it again about when you're dating. Do you feel like you only could just date one person, or you think you can date multiple people? And
I
dating,
think.
okay,
Well, I think it's a matter of what determining what you're ready for. Where are you at right now?
I'm sorry, brother Derek, what's up? Thank you for trying. I mean, oh, he on now. Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry about that,
No, you good. Yeah, yeah, it's just a matter of I think somebody just came back on, Rick.
brother Derek.
Um, so it's a matter of what your purpose is in dating. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel my opinion is if you're ready for a serious relationship, then I feel like you need to kind of start focusing on one person.
Mm-hmm.
So like give people, when you meet people, give them a full opportunity to get to know them, to see if it's gonna go somewhere. See where they are. Are they looking to settle down? Are they looking to, just kind of, well, not necessarily settle down, but are they looking for a serious relationship? Let me put it that
Correct.
way.
Mm-hmm.
Or are they just looking for friends right now? There's a difference. If you tell, somebody say they looking for friends and stuff like that, it depends. If I'm just looking for friends, okay, cool. Then let's
Correct.
do that. But
Mm-hmm.
if I'm looking for a serious relationship, I'm not necessarily looking for somebody who just saying they want to be friends and stuff like that. Because, and I'm basing that off of my experience as well. Because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people who do that, they mean what they say, and you can't hold that against them. They
Mm-hmm.
mean what they say. They just want friends, and it's nothing serious right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if you looking for something serious, that's not what you want. You're not looking for somebody that's wanting to date multiple people and stuff like that. So I'm gonna focus my energy and trying to find somebody who is looking for what I'm looking for.
Gotcha.
So that's all I mean when I'm talking about that. But you can find people if you date multiple people. You can do that, but to me it just makes it more difficult because you don't know, you just don't know when that person is going to be ready.
Correct.
And it's tough, and then you gotta keep in mind a lot of other stuff too. You still got these sexually transmitted diseases out here. People
Mm-hmm.
just sleeping around and doing this and that, and you just gotta be careful. You gotta be more careful in certain situations you put yourself in when you're out dating and stuff, and you know that both of y'all are dating multiple people. Stuff can happen, man. I mean, not that it will, but it just, the probability goes up that
Correct.
things can happen more and stuff like that, and more drama and this and that. And then some people, as we both know, they'll say they want to just be friends, but then all of a sudden they treating you like y'all together.
Yeah. Yep. 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 Yep.
So
Yep.
people do develop feelings, even though they say they just want to be friends.
Ah,
They do start to develop feelings at some point.
now that's why. Okay. So that's why I say even when you up front with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
it still will change because feelings develop. Because
Right.
the first thing that happens is you going out and just that vibe from that person, you be like, man, I really like this person. I hear what they saying, but let's talk about this now.
Mm-hmm.
And this just coming from a man's point of view. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you feel like when you communicating with a woman and you say like, hey, we are just friends, we are just friends and we just hanging out and whatever happens happens. But when you have sex, when you have sex with that woman, do you feel like that in their mind they're in a relationship, but then we're not because we going off what we saying to them. So I'm saying like, hey man, we just friends. We getting to know each other, we dating, and I mean that. But a woman, once you been intimate with them, or once you pass that threshold, uh, in their mind, you in a relationship.
Mm.
Because I really believe that because you know why? Because their actions change. Now, when you don't call them or you don't answer that phone call or you don't text them back when they want you to, they get an attitude or they get mad or you always tired now. So what you
Yeah.
think about that?
Well, I just feel like it's kind of like what you say. I feel like a lot of people are not really being honest, or
With
some
themselves?
people are not really being honest when they say that they just looking for friends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because if like you said, if y'all said it up front that y'all just friends, and now y'all have started to have sex, but
Mm-hmm.
y'all still have not communicated that anything has changed other than y'all being friends, then that person ain't necessarily really being honest. You
Oh, so
will
you
want
saying you
to,
can't be friends having sex? That's what you're saying?
No.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying, yo, you can be friends having sex. What I'm talking about
Okay.
is how you talk about how the feelings came in, like
Okay.
how things started changing. Yeah, what I'm saying is if you know you have developed feelings, you need to have another conversation with that person now. You don't
Oh, okay.
need to, yeah,
Got you.
you don't need to start acting funny all of a sudden. Like you should have called me, to come over here and all that kind of stuff like that. Like
Correct.
you in a relationship. No, you
Mhm.
have to communicate. But what I'm saying is some people they're dishonest because they're hiding under that tent, I'll just say. They're hiding under the fact um that they're saying they want to just be friends, but they really don't. They really want something more, but they're hiding and just saying that because that's what the other person is saying that they want. And I feel
Correct.
like a lot of people just play games with that friend stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And some people play games, but they just want to kind of see how far it's gonna go for some people, and some people really mean it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of hard to tell sometimes when you out there dating what people really mean when they say friends because everybody's really different with that at the end of the day.
That's a whole nother discussion when it come
Right.
down to what type of friends. Yeah, you're right on that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, man.
anything else you got?
No, man, I just want to reach out, to my two brothers, man. Derek, man, appreciate you chiming in, brother. Rozzy, man, I appreciate you chime in every week, man. Wednesday at 10:30, we had, like I said, we had difficulties today because we tried something different, which was on Facebook. And we're gonna try to get that figured out. But we end up coming to Instagram, so we appreciate y'all support. Uh, like I said, man, this is just us, trying to put good content out there. Two brothers that just have conversations all the time, man. And like I said, with all my friends, we sit here and we have conversations, and I just, like I said, I just want everybody to know, all the listeners and everything like that. Like, even if you have a subject that you would like to, like for us to talk about, communicate that to us. Send me a DM, send Gary a DM. We welcome all conversations.
Well, let me see if Ricky gonna come back in there.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can go left, we can go right. It don't matter, man. We just want everything to be organic. We just want good content. We just want everybody to just learn something from it. Like, I learned a lot from today, and that's what I'm saying. Like, me and Gary, we don't always get, what I'm saying, like, agree with certain things, but that's because we totally two different people, and that's okay. That's okay. He's coming from a world. I'm coming from a world. I'm single. He's coming from a world being married. So we're gonna have different outlooks on life and things like that. But the main thing is we just want people to start to chime in and giving their opinion on certain things, because you might not agree with me or Gary. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that's just something that we just wanted to talk about, man. But again, man, we just we thank you for your support. And like I said, every Wednesday at 10:30, God willing. So thank you. I appreciate it. We both appreciate it. Go ahead,
Yes,
Gary.
sir. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, I'm just gonna say appreciate y'all and echo what Ricky said. That's pretty much it. Appreciate y'all, and hopefully we'll see you all next Wednesday night at 10:30. Y'all
Yes,
take
sir.
it easy.
Love.